Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. On this Friday, let us give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all His blessings and mercy towards us, as the only one who has the right to praise us human beings. Let us pray that He will guide us to the right path. You know, at the end of the sermon, usually we say, Ibadullah, Nawallahi, Yamru, Bi'adli, wal Ihsan. What does that mean in English? Servants of God, God commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin. And He forbids shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that you remember. So, I'm really honored to be in South Africa. It's been my wish to be here for many years, and I've always admired the Muslims of South Africa who managed to keep Islam alive in this part of the world. I saw the first mosque built in 1723, something like that. And I remember the Muslims in Fiji also. They also came as indentured laborers, or more or less like slaves, to Fiji, and they kept Islam alive there in these remote corners of the world. There's so many things to talk about. Today, perhaps I'd like to remind us all about a chapter in the Quran about the bee. It's a whole chapter called the bee, and the two verses, they say, "And your Lord inspired to the bee, take for yourself among mountains houses and among the trees in which they construct, and eat from the fruits and follow the ways of your Lord laid down for you. There emerges from their bellies a drink, different colors, in which there's healing for people, and there's an ayat, there's a sign here for people who think." And the Quran says this many times, that there is this ayat, because you have the Quranic ayat and you have ayat in the universe, the science of nature. And it says, for the people who think. So the Quran is telling us to think. And I'd just like to reflect a bit about this bee. And then there is some hadith also about the bee. The Prophet said, a mu'min resembles a gold brick, which if thrown in the furnace doesn't change color and doesn't lose his weight. And then, I swear by Him who owns my soul, that a mu'min is like a honeybee, which sucks nectar from beautiful flowers, turns it into beneficial honey, and neither misuses or damages the flower petal from its weight. So, the Prophet is saying that this is what we should be like as Muslims. And this teaches us, you know, we get a pure livelihood, we do it, and we are a source of benefit to others. And if we are not a source of benefit to others, why are we Muslims? And basically, there's a poem that I remember from Rahman Baba, a Sufi poet from Pakistan, or from Afghanistan actually. And he reminds us, sow flowers to make your garden bloom around you. The thorns you throw will prick your feet. Arrows shot at others will return to hit you as they fall. You yourself will come to tether on the lip of a well dug to undermine another. Though you look at others with contempt, it is you whose body will be reduced to dust. Humanity is all one body. To torture another is simply to wound yourself. Make your path straight now by the bright light of day, for pitch darkness will come without warning. So, what lessons does the honeybee have for us? It teaches us to reflect and gain knowledge. it also inspires us to work together. When they have a full load, the honeybees fly back to the hive. They pass their nectar on to other worker bees who chew it, and it passes on one bee another till it turns into honey, and they store it in cells, which are sort of tiny wax jars. And it's a bit wet, so they fan it with their wings, dry it out to become sticky. When it's ready, they seal it with the wax to keep it clean. Teamwork is the secret of their success. And so many stories of Muslims fighting each other all over the world shows us why we need this lesson from the bee so much. It also, as I mentioned earlier, teaches us to get that which is clean. That is halal, that is good and pure. So when we get something, we look for something which is pure. Another lesson, number 4, is efficiency. And one of the things that we can say about Muslims is very often we're not terribly efficient. And yet this is one of the 5 things that Muslims must be. They must make proper, efficient uses of the resources that they have. A beehive houses 60,000 bees, and they travel 55,000 miles to collect the honey, just to collect 1 pound of honey. So let's get inspiration from the bees to work together and work efficiently to achieve the best results. And it also teaches us, lesson number 5, is good relationships. The relationship of the bee to the plant is not selfish. He's not greedy. When they take the nectar, they don't only take, and they don't take in excess, actually they give something back. Because they pollinate the flower, so it can give off seeds or fruit. So the bee is not just taking, but it's giving. And in our relationships, we should also try to give more, and just like the honeybee does. And we could have sort of 3 attitudes towards our life. We could be like most human beings, be like a vegetable. The world is neither richer nor poorer for us having been there. Be born, grow up, have children, and then die. The world is neither richer nor poorer for us having been here. Or we could, like successful people, treat life as a business, asking, what's in it for me? What do I get? What's my benefit? In Indonesia, they say USA. So I said, what does this mean? In Indonesian language, it says, untuk saya apa? What's in it for me? And a lot of people have this attitude towards life. In their relationship with their family, in their relationship with their community, they're always asking, what benefit do I get? But let's be more like the bee and ask this question: what can we contribute to our nation, to our society, to our community, to our family? And this, I feel, is one of the things which inspired me to become a Muslim, that we are always asking, what can we give, not what can we get. And I always remember this Surah Ma'un, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. Who gives a lie to religion? Who is it that gives a lie to religion? Makes nonsense of religion? It is the person who turns away the orphan and turns away the poor. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something amazing. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَّلِينَ. The musalli will go to hell, because it's nice and fat and comfortable and big house and big car and everything like that. But he didn't bother to help his poor or her poor neighbor or the orphan. And I'm on a holiday here, but I visited some of the orphan children that we're sponsoring in South Africa. And if you see the struggles of their families to give an education and even to keep their children alive, it's amazing. And so all of us as a Muslim, we should be always asking, what can we give to our community? What can we contribute to our society? And the opportunities are amazing. And I'll talk a bit later about two inspiring human beings, if I have time. I don't want to. What's the time? I don't. Okay, I've got 5 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, and the bee also teaches us to care about our communities. Everybody has a role. The queen bee lays the eggs, the worker bees clean their hive, and the others fly to get the nectar. So a bee cannot survive on its own. It needs the cooperation of coordination, and so does a community. And it teaches us not to be destructive, just as I mentioned before. The bee lands on the flower petal. He doesn't damage it, even though he's much heavier than the flower. But he doesn't damage the petal. He doesn't destroy the flower. Two people I'd like to mention, two contemporary Muslims, or not contemporary, 20th century Muslims that I would like to remember. One is what they call the frontier Gandhi, Bacha Khan. The Pashtun are known for their sort of warrior-like features, their aggressiveness and everything. But here is a man who had a purely peaceful approach, a non-aggressive, non-violent approach. And he formed this, he called it the Huday Khidmat Gar, the servants of God. And they had a vow, and I just read that because that's all I have time for. In the name of God, who is present and evident, I am a Huday Khidmat Gar. I will serve my nation without any self-interest. Oh, sorry, I forgot to switch it off. I will not take revenge, and my actions will not be a burden to anyone. My actions will be non-violent. I will make every sacrifice to be on this path. I will serve people without regard to religion or faith. I shall use goods created by my own people, and I will not be tempted by any office. And they came under sustained attack by the British. And the British treated them violently, they beat them, but they still maintained a peaceful, non-violent approach to seeking for this. And sadly, this man was never highly regarded by Pakistan, and he's buried in Afghanistan. The other person that I'd like to remind you who made a big difference was Sadar Idi of Pakistan, who, as a young man, it's probably my family, I'm sorry, because Idi Foundation, he was a poor man. He established the world's largest ambulance service and operates free nursing homes, orphanages, clinics, women's shelters, rehab facilities for drug addicts, mentally individuals. And it's the leading source of emergency assistance in Pakistan and worked for international aid. And yet, Sadar Idi remained a simple man. And so, this is all I think we have time for today. So 2 examples of 2 great Muslims who made a huge contribution to their communities and societies. And I think taking the bee as our sort of, if you can remember one thing from my short message to you today, try to be like a bee in our societies and communities as the Quran asks us to do. And let us Muslims make a contribution to the world and a contribution to society. Thank you very much. I love you all. Assalamu alaikum.